first of all, Craig, congratulations on these numbers. I mean, if we're starting off with the focus on the South African operations, you've got numbers up, you're generating returns in a very tricky market right now. So what are you attributing your resilience to?
Alishia, I think what's good is most of our revenues, 82% of our revenues for Altech actually stem from annuity revenues. And generally, in a difficult economic climate, annuity revenue businesses are better protected. So I think it's been a good strategy of ours over the years. At the same time, we've been quite cost conscious for even prior to the economic downturn. We were looking at our costs and making sure they were under control. And then, as you probably know, we've got a great growth engine in the East African footprint and a great set of people within Altech.
Let's focus on that annuity income, because if you're looking at your numbers, you've got AutoPage Cellular boosting contract customers by 14%. You've got a Netstar customer base as well. And then if we bring in your East African operations, as you were saying when you were in studio last week, you charge per kilometer the fiber that customers are utilizing. So that is certainly a good annuity base that you have. Just how much do you see that annuity base increasing, and what level are you actually targeting for this year?
At year-end February, this last year ended, it was 79% of our total revenues. It's now grown to 82% of our total revenues up to August, and we actually see that growing beyond the 85% as our businesses come on stream and the growth comes through. So we see explosive growth in the East African region. It definitely is the growth engine going forward. Already, if I look at Altech's total operating profits, East Africa contributes 18% of our total operating profits, and we only did the investment a year ago. So we see that growing to probably 45 to 50% of Altech's total operating profits in the next 3 years.
A lot of emphasis over the recent past has been placed on East Africa simply because of the landing of the undersea cables over on that end as well. But let's focus on the home ground here. I mean, what's interesting is that you've got prepaid customers having fallen back by 56,000. Is that on account of a conversion or are you seeing a complete fall off of your customer base locally?
No, we actually see it a lot in terms of conversion, because I think one has to feel that a contract subscriber is a little bit more valuable and better long-term customer to have than a prepaid subscriber. So we're actually seeing good growth at AutoPage Cellular, and I think what's important is to focus on the costs and to continue the growth that we've experienced in the past.
Are you happy at the pace of growth that you're seeing in South Africa? Because a while back you emphasized that with increased broadband comes this accessibility to remote areas in South Africa. Are you making significant enough stride there?
I think we are, and obviously I think we're making more of a stride as Altech in the East African region, and that's mostly due to liberalisation and all the other good things. But I must say the Minister of Communications is doing a great job in terms of actually making some decisions in terms of actually speeding up liberalisation, opening up the market, and I think then you'll see telecoms costs coming down, and you'll see communications to the remote areas, which is very important.
I picked up a research note from Frost & Sullivan this morning saying that interestingly we've got Altech choosing not to invest in infrastructure in South Africa. It's come as something of a surprise, given that you've campaigned so diligently for this liberalisation of the playing field as well. So what are some of the stumbling blocks, and when do you see yourselves actually notching things up in this regard?
I think what's important is getting the license, which we fought so hard for, in order to help the industry also liberalise quicker. You need frequency spectrum with the license, and ICASA has not given out the frequency spectrum as of yet. So we definitely do see ourselves as Altech playing a big role going forward in terms of a liberalised market, and we just need the frequencies. In Kenya and our East African operations, we've already got the frequencies, we've got our network operator licenses that have been there, and we're seeing great growth. So I think we're on the right track, but we need to hopefully move faster as a government in terms of liberalisation.
Well, there's really been this underpin to the group's expansion strategy is this East African market, and I guess illustrative of the confidence you have in that operations is the enhancement of your stake in KDN that was announced last week. You've upped that to 60%. Do you see that getting to a point of a total takeover of the KDN operations, or are you looking more at more acquisitions over in Kenya?
I think what's very important in doing business in Africa or anywhere around the world is a quality partner. somebody that has the local knowledge, knows the government entities, and can assist and provide value. And our partners in East Africa, the Zameo Group, are superb. So we increased our stake by 10% because from an Altech perspective, we'd like more of a good thing because it's profitable and a very good growth engine going forward for Altech. But we still have preserved the strong presence of our local partner, Zameo, who have 40% of the equity. I think what is so great for me in terms of this set of results is that we have very successful businesses in South Africa that are operating exceptionally well, but we now have a growth engine with a great partner, which we've had now for a year in East Africa. And our operating margins, where most corporates are coming out with negative results, our operating margin has increased from 9% to 10%.
And of course, that is just one partner that you have over on that end. You've got that 11% stake in Teams as well, which is the government undersea cable. You've got a stake in Seacoms as well. Do you see the East African side of your business actually becoming a bigger component of your total earnings profile moving forward?
Yes, as I said a little bit earlier, I think operating profit-wise, East Africa is already 18% of our operating profits, and we see that growing to 45 to 50% of the operating profits for Altech as a group, so very important.
There's a very hefty concentration on the East Africa market. What about West Africa? I mean, we talk about the number of cellular subscribers in Nigeria, and the number absolutely screams opportunity. I mean, are you making significant enough strides in that market to actually taking advantage of that opportunity before it becomes as competitive as the South African market currently is?
Yes, you know, we took a decision very early, actually 5 years ago, to invest in Lagos, Nigeria. So we have an operation in Lagos, Nigeria, in excess of 600 people there. And it's a business that makes us 15 million rands worth of profits every year and has done for the last 5 years. So we are involved there, but I think our East African footprint was a concerted decision in terms of really focusing on East Africa, having our operation in West Africa and getting some of the growth that you referred to. So I'm very happy that we've chosen strategically the correct parts of Africa to be involved in.
At the same time, while you've taken those investments and you're focused your energy in that space in Africa, globally, it's more your traffic management and fleet management services that you're taking. What kind of progress are you seeing there?
Good progress. I mean, Altech Netstar is a fantastic company, and it really has performed exceptionally well for this 6-month period. And the globalization opportunities are significant, as you correctly say. So I think what we have is we've got the right formula, and it's replicating that formula around the world. You
highlighted that Altech Netstar has managed to meet budget expectations. To what extent has the decline in vehicle sales that we've seen actually hampered your target earnings for this year on that front?
Yeah, you know, I think it's amazing because it's something that definitely is factual. I mean, it's a statistic. I mean, vehicle sales have dropped. And that's what makes Netstar's results even so much more impressive, especially some of our competitors have just released results recently, and some of them had a drop of 50% in earnings. So I must say I'm exceptionally proud of the Netstar team, and I think that, they really have done the right thing in terms of building a business, even though new vehicle sales have dropped. But there's obviously replacement vehicles, there's obviously our fleet business, which has grown. We've launched Altech Netstar Traffic, which is another growth area. So we're finding revenue streams from elsewhere, and I think Netstar's done a great job on that.